got it.
Hi, welcome to...
Already had a snafu, guys, already.
Okay,
Episode 31. We're not professional at all.
He highlights what I'm supposed to read, and the first part isn't highlighted, so I assumed he was going to handle that.
That part that's not highlighted is the title that's going to go on the episode when I upload it, because I thought it was great.
Anyway, welcome to What? Not Another Reselling Podcast here on Jack's Treasures. Our show is a podcast focusing on the live portion of reselling. We don't edit. We go at this raw. We don't sugarcoat or blow smoke. We try to bring you the truth about live selling.
And because Tracy didn't say that, my name is Brian, and this is Tracy, and we are Jack's Treasures. You should say that. We've been doing this for 31 episodes. 31 episodes. Our topic for today is, I'm sorry, I need to get this all smoothened out. How to build a huge community of support through shows on Whatnot. And we have a very, very special guest with us today.
Our guest today is Miss Q, a secondhand sarcasm. She is a seller on Whatnot and one of the conductors of the $5 Friday Freakout and Say It With Your Chest raid trains. She's super supportive of the Whatnot community, and she just may be the hardest working seller on Whatnot with 31 shows scheduled in October alone. Today is her birthday. The day this is released is her birthday.
That's right.
Happy 24th birthday.
Yes.
That number's a little off, but thank you.
Why don't you give the viewers a brief introduction of yourself?
Well, hello, everybody. I am Q, aka Secondhand Sarcasm. I have been reselling for many years. I didn't have an exact date because when I started, I wasn't really thinking about it as a business. I was just thinking about it as something to do to make a little extra money with things that I already had. But I have been selling on Whatnot for a little over 3 years now. I celebrated my 3 years in July.
Same as us.
Yeah. I like to sell a variety of things. I am overwhelmingly stocked with clothing, but I dibble dabble pretty much in any category that I can. I'm still trying to break into knives. So stay tuned for that.
Oh, and she also does an awesome graphic t-shirt battles. She is amazing, and she's up for... I didn't say anything about it. I said she does awesome for, and she's up for doing battles.
Okay.
That's all I was going to say. Right. I wasn't going to mention the other part that you slapped me for. Keep going.
What does Q stand for, by the way?
I'm not allowed to reveal that information on the internet. No. My first name is Quenisha.
Quenisha.
I love that. I absolutely love that. But she does use Miss Q on everything and stuff. So, hey, we've got an exclusive. I think, you know what? I'm going to put that as the title. I'm changing the title around now.
Don't put Miss in there. That makes me sound very 1920s. It's just Q. Just
Q. Okay.
Just straight Q.
Okay, well, you're the one who said Miss. I didn't.
Well, I read what you wrote.
Oh, well, you don't always do that.
Welcome to Real Talk Q&A. This is where we ask the tough questions of our guest and hopefully gain some knowledge.
Yeah. Our first question, Q has already touched on it a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and ask it anyway, because we always ask all of our questions, our first question to everybody. And to me, it's one of the most fascinating parts. And that is how did you start reselling? How did that just come about?
So the real start to me as a reseller was in middle school. I definitely didn't know that, it was reselling or anything at the time, but I used to sell school supplies and snacks out of my locker in middle school.
Wow.
So it started for me.
Talk about an entrepreneur.
Yeah. So that's how I really got started when I was really thinking about it. But like I said, I started, my first platform was eBay.
Okay.
As far as official reselling, if you will. And at the time I was mainly selling, things I already had in my possession, and I made jewelry at the time. So I was also selling jewelry that I made.
Okay.
So that is absolutely awesome, man. I love that. I mean, can you see a Q selling supplies out of her thing and negotiating with people? No, I want to get that eraser for a quarter. She go, that's 50 cents.
That's right. There were no negotiations. The price is the
price. As a follow-up, how did you get started on Whatnot?
So I was by the time I found out about Whatnot, I had already been selling on Poshmark a lot. Poshmark had become my main selling platform. And somewhere along my Poshmark journey, I decided to start an Instagram for my reselling business because hadn't had one at the time. And so in that, I also decided to try doing live shows on Instagram. And one of the people that I met on Instagram who came to my live shows eventually ended up telling me about Whatnot. So I joined, and the rest is history.
Wow, that's awesome. I love hearing how people find out about Whatnot through friends and things like that, because I think that is great. You know,
What was the first step you took towards building the huge community you've built on Whatnot?
and if y'all don't know, by the way, before she answers this, I'm going to have links down below to all of Q's things that she just said. I'll have one for her Poshmark. I'll have one for her Whatnot, obviously. And I definitely will have one for her Instagram.
So the community build on Whatnot was never something that I was planning. It really happened kind of overnight, and then once it started, it was just like, well, this is what I'm here for. But I think for me, it kind of started with just going into people's rooms and, chatting and having fun, just being myself. Before I had my first show, I already had 1,000 followers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So like I was in people's rooms. I was shopping a lot, which hasn't necessarily changed too much. But when I first got on the app, I would go in people's rooms, and I wasn't a sit around and not chat person. So, that's how I got to know people, and it just kind of snowballed from there. And I think like the community that you all know me to be in now, and the one that we're growing in together, really kind of kicked off a lot more for me when raid trains became a thing. Because, then you really I feel like raid trains give you some of the best snapshots and introductions to other people, so that just decide, if I want to go hang out with Jack's Treasures and his sister a little more when she's in town.
we don't mention Brianna on here. She prides in her privacy, I think.
She texted me, asked me to make sure I brought her up. But yeah, so I think like that in particular, and then of course, in 2025? So in 2023, I started doing Q&As, and of course, that brought a lot of people in, because it's the same. Like I would be in people's shows, and they'd be like, "Hey, does anybody know how to do XYZ?" And I'd be like, "Oh yeah, hey, do this, yada yada yada," and so people would be like, "Hey, can I DM you? Can I do this?" And I was like, "Yeah, you can, but and eventually I was like, well, let's just do a show. Come with your questions." And, that's kind of become a thing for me as well.
It really is amazing, guys. If you haven't seen any of Q's Q&As, which are just, it flows with being Q, they are really, really good. She has got, to me, one of the best camera presence on Whatnot. She really, really is. If somebody is starting from scratch today, what's the number one thing they should focus on to build that community on Whatnot?
Authenticity, like hands down.
Oh, I love it.
You gotta be authentic, because if you show up on this app on Whatnot in particular, and you're phony or you're trying to copy somebody else, like nothing is gonna stick. Even if you make sales, the community building part won't come. And while you may be like, well, I made my money, that's true, you're going to be missing out on so much more that the app has to offer. So I think authenticity is like the cornerstone of all of it, and everything else grows out of that.
I 100% agree with you. The funny thing is you were talking about how you started to do the raid trains and stuff like that. Tracy and I were on for almost 2 full years before we ever knew even what a raid train was. And I got raided one time, and I didn't even know what the raid trains were. But then
he was like, "What the heck are all these people doing here? Get out of my room!"
How did all of these people just get in here? We were used to our 8 to 12 people in the room, and all of a sudden I got like 80 people in the room. So it was actually a fairly decent one.
And see,
but
I don't know.
I just didn't know it.
Yeah, I don't know in particular, like if there's any way for us to really find out what the first raid train was, but I feel like I was probably on it. And and I don't know if y'all realize like there's like a running joke about me doing shows in my car. And that's
Uh-huh.
where a
Uh-huh.
lot of people met me. I did my very first raid train from my car because it was like a 5 or 10 minute thing. It wasn't anything long, but it was the same night as one of my nephew's birthday dinners. And but I was like, I'm still gonna show up. I'm still do it. And so a lot of people who met me back then, that they still reference that, oh, I met you when you were selling out of your car. And so
That's funny.
every now and then I hop back in the car and do a show just for nostalgia's sake.
That's funny because it's similar to us. We wind up doing we travel a lot in the Southeast, and we wind up doing a lot of trains on the road. We've got, I think, 4, including yours this weekend, that we're going to be doing up in Tennessee.
Yeah, we'll be in Tennessee for that one. And what did we do? Just like Friday night, we did a show, and it was an hour-long show, and we did it from Truist Park, where the Braves play. And I want to tell you something, guys. I can talk. There's no doubt about it. But an hour show
It's a lot.
talking, because we had nothing to sell because we got stuck in traffic.
We did.
And we were like, we ain't derailing the train. So, and we live in an area where internet is spotty at best. I mean, sometimes it'll come in, sometimes it won't. So when you're in a car and you're driving, you really got to worry about that internet going in and out and stuff like that. So you never want to try to derail a train. So we said, well, we're going to do that there, But that was a great answer, though. I absolutely love that.
Hour trains are brutal for me. I don't think I've done an hour train in over a year.
We have been talking, and we're definitely going to be saying no to those, I think, in the future.
Yeah, they got to be really, really special for me to get on them.
The culture of raid trains now, the hours, that's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, because they used to be when we started out, every the hour. My very first one, though, I thought I was being, really cute and special. I meant my first one, it was 45-minute slots.
Oh, wow.
So
well, our first one was 11-minute slots, so beat that.
Well, okay. Well, all right. But that made sense, though, because it's the Veterans Day Raid Train. As you all know, and if you don't know, Jack's Treasures, we host one raid train a year. That's it. Okay. And bless everybody that does a raid train, because I'm telling you, you might not sit here and think that they're hard work, but when you got to deal with so many of these people, and life happens with some things, and some people are like, I don't want to raid that person, or can I raid this person? And can I flip flop? Can I change? Can I do all this stuff? Man, it is really tough. So we do one a year, and it's on Veterans Day. And so Veterans Day is 11/11, 11/11. So because World War I ended on the 11th hour, the 11th day of the 11th month. So I said, well, I'm going to make them 11 minutes. And Tracy, I mean, her head almost exploded.
Having to tell someone they're on at 3:13 till 3:24 was kind of awkward.
But it went off without a hitch. But this year we are doing,
and it was your fault.
It was. Well, yeah, it was my fault.
Of course it
was. It was my fault.
I think I was on a 9-minute train this year.
Yes.
I've been on a couple
of
ones like that.
Yeah, we did one with CG Boomerang Echo when she did 888 or something like that, or 99 or something like that. Yeah, we did one of those. Can you read it?
Oh, what do you think are the biggest myths about live reselling that new sellers believe?
Yeah.
Whatnot in particular, that you got to start everything at $1. Big myth. Also that it's easy.
Yes, I agree with that.
It can look easy once you get into it and you've been doing it for a while. You get a flow, and it's easier to navigate, but it's still not easy. It's a lot of work. Even whether you're preloading or doing random pulls, it's a lot of work because it takes a lot of dedication, organization, all that thing. So as far as Whatnot goes, biggest myth is that you got to start your stuff at $1. Live selling in general is that it's easy because all you're doing is showing people and they're bidding on it. You gotta know about what you're selling. You got to give people a reason to swipe.
Yeah. Right. That is very, very, very true. That the myth about the starting things at $1. Now we do start everything up at $1, but we built the following up to that. A lot of new sellers think that they need to do that. And what Q was saying about everybody thinking it was easy. Can you imagine popping in on, let's say, Jen's Multiverses show, and seeing how easy that she sells all of this stuff for those great prices, right? And you think, oh, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And then you run your show and it's like, I can't do this.
Yeah, that's a thing that, like, when I do my Q&As, or when, new sellers, even sellers who have been on the app for a while, who may be struggling with, the sustainability of their shows and their business, it's just like, you have to read the room, right? I'm not
Yeah.
100%.
I'm not gonna start something that I want $20 for at $1, and there's only one person in the room with me.
Right.
Why would they swipe multiple times if nobody's bidding against them?
Right.
And you also have to be realistic. Sometimes the things that we bring to the platform are not really for that platform, or at least not for the audience that we have. And, I'm okay with that. I am someone who sells on multiple platforms. So everything I source doesn't always come to Whatnot, at least not initially. Right. And I'm also sometimes willing to wait, right, for the price that I want. So I won't run it as an auction. I'll put it in the buy now,
We just did that with this right here. Tracy's got this. It's a frog that says this smells trouble or spells trouble, and it lights up. And we just put that in our bin because I paid $20 for that.
Right.
So I'm not going to run it in a show because I won't get near $20. I mean, probably the most I would get for that was maybe 17.
Yeah,
depending on the show.
Be realistic about it. Like, I'm not going to start it at $1 and then it doesn't sell for the 20 I want, and say, oh, y'all robbed me, I can't believe y'all didn't bid that up. When, if I wanted $20, I will put it in the buy now, and the person who actually wants to pay the $20 will go ahead and grab it, and I'll be happy. My audience won't feel like, I'm cussing them out because I didn't get the price I wanted.
Right.
Yeah, it drives me nuts when I hear people say that, oh, you robbed me. Well, if I robbed you, then start it off. Remember the one show that I told you about, that I was in the show, and the person said, I'm going to run this for $1. But if it doesn't go over 50, I'm ending the show. And I'm like, then start it at $50. Why you got to do that?
Because if I'm in the room and I'm willing to pay 50 for it, but it doesn't run to 50, why would I just swipe to 50?
Exactly.
Like, that's not how psychology works. It's not how math works.
Right. And that's not how an auction works either.
Exactly.
If you're going to sell it, because basically what they said is, oh, we're setting a reserve. Well, if you're going to set a reserve, just start it at that price.
That's called the starting price.
Yeah.
Something you mentioned about maybe it's not right for that platform. I feel like Whatnot almost boxes you into a category sometimes. Like, we can sell video games really well, but we try to bring some like high fashion shoes or something.
Yeah.
We don't get the people for that. We're boxed in as video game sellers. So those I need to take to another platform if I want to get more than $2 or $3 for them.
That's something where, like, y'all know, I love being in all the categories that I can be in. So I'll sell here one day, I'll sell there one day. But that wasn't always like, I didn't have the audience for that the first time I did that. Like, for instance, I do snacks. The first time I did an all snack show, it was kind of like, but I think you have to be strategic when you want to get into new categories, right? That's one reason why raid trains are really amazing. Because if you can find ones that are specific to the category, even though cross category is my favorite, but if you can find something that's specific to the category, you get the eyes of the people who are looking for those things. Right. And so then you get them to vibe and vibe with you and buy into who you are. So then they come back to your shows, at least for that thing. And you can build that audience that way. Because that's how my audience with snacks was built. I did snacks on a raid train. And then everybody's like, when's your next snack show? And I was like, oh, I don't actually sell snacks.
Right.
So hold on, I'll be back.
Yes, exactly. That is amazing. Well, this next question flows right in with that. And this is, by the way, again, this question goes along with somebody having 31 shows in October. Okay. And it's her birthday.
Qtober.
And it's her birthday on the day that this one comes out. And I think she probably has 5 shows scheduled that day. But what role does consistency play in growing a strong following?
It plays a huge role, because consistency is very different for every person, right? Consistency for me could be going live every day. But for somebody else, consistency is, I'm live every day, Tuesday at 2:30 p.m. Central. And everybody who, comes to my shows, they know that every Tuesday at 2:30 p.m. Central, you're going to see Secondhand Sarcasm. You're not going to see her no other day, but you can bet your bottom dollar on Tuesday at 2:30, I'm coming. She's going to be here. And so your buyers, your community of support, that like really like ingrains in their head, and they know, hey, I don't care what's happening at 2:30. If I want to get the goods from Secondhand Sarcasm, I gotta be in the place on Tuesday at 2:30. So the consistency part is very different for everybody, because that's like trying to answer the question, when's the best time to go live? When you're available.
Yes.
So
right, 100%.
if you want people to know when to look for you, yes, have your set shows. Like I have specific shows that I do on certain days, of the week or whatever. But of course, y'all know I pop up here and there. We're on raid trains all the time. But consistency, huge part, because it gives people something to hold on to versus just saying Jack's Treasures has no show scheduled. I don't know when the next time is they're going to go live. And, then I wake up at 3:00 in the morning and I see I missed the notification for y'all going live 2 hours ago. Well, I would have been awake 2 hours ago if I known y'all were going to go live, right? So the consistency, just whatever works for your schedule, make that happen and give people, let people know, hey, this is what I'm going to be doing. So make sure y'all come back for this, and schedule the shows. Like the pop-ups only really work if you have the following of people that are waiting for you to go live. But schedule shows, take advantage of the bookmarks that you can get from having the show scheduled.
Yeah, agreed. Now, did y'all hear that over there on the district? You got to get your act together and get bookmarks on there, because we sell on the district also, and we're trying to build over there. And every time I'm live over there, I'm like, yeah, bookmark my next show. And then I realize they don't got the bookmark feature. So come on, district, get the bookmark feature going. Sorry. That's my consistency.
What kind of personality traits make someone thrive in live reselling?
So I don't know if we're going to call it authenticity of personality trait, because I'm going to lean on that pretty heavily. But showing up as yourself, and regardless of what that means and what that looks like, because I don't want every show that I go to be a duplication of a Jack's Treasure show, right? I would go
that
into
would be too much.
It'd be way too much. Okay, one show is enough.
Are you trying to say something about me?
Yes, I am.
I want to go to person A's show and know that it's going to be somebody who's very, they're just a very fun loving person. They like to tell a lot of jokes, this, that, and the third. I want to go over here to this person. They're giving me lots of positivity. This person over here, they're not a big interacting with doing a whole lot of chat, but they know their stuff about their products, right? Mm-hmm. So the authenticity feature, personality trait, all the things that plays a big part. Live selling is successful because you put the work in and you show up as yourself. You show up with your items. You know what you're talking about, and you don't try to guilt people into buying from you. So when you press that start show button, be yourself, have fun. Like I think it's weird when I go into shows and the seller is not having fun.
Agreed.
Like, I understand this is, I believe this is a full-time income for you all, right?
Yeah, very much so. That's the only thing that we do.
So, I understand this is people's livelihood. For me, it kind of is and kind of isn't right now. We don't have to talk about that though. But
now we have to talk about that now.
Really nothing to talk about. But, so I understand this is what people do to pay their bills and all that. So it's serious, right? Because you need to make the money. But if you're not enjoying yourself and you're not having fun, that translates into the room, into the chat. And so then people don't want to be there. So, you have to cultivate an environment and an atmosphere that's welcoming and, just keeps people engaged with you if you want to be successful in live selling. You may even have to invent a pet to keep people involved, I don't know.
No, that's awesome. I mean, I love hearing all of that stuff, because you basically are saying that no, not everybody is suited for live selling, which is okay.
Right.
Just be yourself, be genuine. And if your genuine self isn't the type that's comfortable in front of a camera, that is comfortable with handling some things that we're going to be talking about in a second, then maybe live selling's not for you.
Right.
But there's nothing wrong with that. You can still make a lot of money on all of the platforms that are all out there.
I've said it before. If it was just me, I would not be on Whatnot. I would be doing my selling over on eBay, over on Mercari, Amazon, wherever. But I don't have that personality to go in day after day after day in front of the camera and be like that.
And like, I think even from what I've experienced with you though, Tracy, I feel like you would still have the opportunity to be successful at it if it's something that you decided to do.
Well,
right?
Thank you.
Yeah, she does actually do her own
I do
shows.
shows now and again.
I was in your, I think you didn't you do a jewelry show recently? Or were you supposed
He actually wound up running.
I ended up running it because
I had some technical issues and I flipped out right before the show. And I'm like, I can't do this. I can't deal with it.
Oh yeah, the hands went up in the air.
I'm gonna postpone it. We'll do it tomorrow.
Postpone the show. Postpone the show. And I'm like, no. You already have pre-bids. Okay, let's go ahead and do this because we were going out of town. We were going to the Northeast Tennessee meetup the day before, the next day. And I said, this is a perfect show for us to run the day before because these are small things to ship if we sell anything. And we ended up selling out.
We did.
And inside of a half an hour, we made $170. So, I mean, it was.
I am doing a Winnie the Pooh train next week. So
okay.
But yeah, I mean, agreed. There, some people do. Tracy, she likes to do it as long as she doesn't have to do it full time.
Right.
You know, it's doses. Like after this, we're done recording, and this is the same with everybody. I have to tell everybody this. Tracy, the first thing she's going to do is take her earbud out, and she's going to run away. And it's nothing to do with the person and stuff. It's that she could take only recording in small little spurts, sort of going like that. How important do you think collaboration is with other sellers for community growth?
It's essential. It's actually a non-negotiable. Like you can't build communication. I mean, you can't build collaboration and community if you're not willing to collaborate and engage with other people. Because really, if you think that you're going to be up here and you're just going to be saying, oh, this is my community of people, but all you're doing is talking to and at people, you're not building a community. You're trying to be a dictator.
Right.
But collaboration comes in many forms, right? You can do raid trains, you can do challenges, you can do co-hosted shows, you know, all types of things like that. It doesn't have to just be one thing over the other, but it's absolutely essential to building community because it's a give and take. It has to be a give and take, because if it's only you know, taking from other people, or you just thinking, I'm just, you know, I have it all, I know it all, I'm just gonna, you know, teach everybody everything and the world is mine. That's not.
Ooh, kumbaya. I had a kumbaya moment.
How do you handle negativity or competition while keeping your community supportive?
Yes, this is what I alerted to earlier.
I don't acknowledge anybody believing that they're in competition with me. So there's that. I'm in competition with nobody but myself. So if you're in competition with me, that's not my problem. That's yours. So I don't have to handle that. As far as the negativity goes,
this come from the person who was threatening people in our graphic tee battle.
I threatened absolutely nobody. I didn't
threaten this guy.
I came to intimidate you. That's very different. Look up
okay, that is true. That is
dictionary. It's very different.
I'm just playing right now, guys. I'm going to tell y'all something right now. Q is probably one of the funnest battles that we had because of the banter that not only that Tracy and I have, but Q picked up on that playfulness that I have, and she just ate into it. And we did not plan none of that. We never talked about it or anything like that. We did go into rooms together, and she would throw out a dig there, and I would throw a dig back. But it was just a natural thing that happened that made that show so much fun.
It was
much fun.
All right, y'all got to remind me now. My memory is this short. What was the second part of that question I was answering?
Handle negativity.
Yes. Okay. So handling the negativity. It goes really in line with my name. I probably am going to respond to you very sarcastically if you come in my room being
Mhm.
negative. But more often than not, I'm just going to keep rolling, because that's another thing that I wish some sellers would kind of get under their belts. You don't have to address it. You
Right.
quite literally can ignore it. And this one is another thing that comes with building community. So you have people in your room who recognize, oh, okay, this person is being a jackass. We didn't talk about profanity, but hopefully it's fine.
Oh, it's perfectly
perfectly
fine.
fine.
Perfectly fine.
Right.
Hanger dropped the F-bomb, so.
Hanger dropped
Perfect.
the F-bomb so many times, I think YouTube was contacting me and going, dude, you just set a record.
But you have people in your room who recognize it. That's what, for Whatnot in particular, that's where mods are important. So they can just go ahead and remove them if they need to, but also to
Mhm.
get it out of the view of the chat, right? They'll comment
Yep.
just to get it so that it's not just sitting there if for some reason your chat isn't very active at the time. But I
Right.
very rarely get into it with people live about something ridiculous that they're saying. If I have to address something, I'll address it, but I don't hold court. So there are no questions to be answered. I'm just going to tell you what's happening and we're going to move on, because this is Secondhand Sarcasm show. This is how things work. If you don't like it over here, you're more than welcome not to be here.
Right.
Yeah,
There's
we have
100
very
other shows
issue.
on at any given time. If you're not
yeah.
that
At
person's
least.
cup of tea, go find some tea somewhere else.
We had an episode where, for me, it's really hard because I can't I can't read the chat very fast, and sometimes that chat goes really fast.
Right.
And if I don't have, even with my glasses on, sometimes it's very difficult because I do have a phone and that's where I'm usually looking at, and I have a computer, but I don't look at the computer as much, even though my screen's bigger. But somebody left a very nasty comment. It was actually red chatted. And when a red chat comes up, I can see it right away. And I'm used to envying Nat coming in and giving me a red chat, or I love discounts _ com giving me a chat, and then I'll know. So I started reading it. Tracy had already read it. That person already got booted out of the room. So she screams at me to stop reading it. So,
it was bad. It was like X-rated.
Yeah. Now I didn't realize it. So I'm starting to read this and she says, stop reading that. So yes, definitely having mods is super important to have that when that negativity comes across. Q said it right there. Just be sarcastic. You're going to be sarcastic with it because secondhand sarcasm, duh. But try to ignore it as much as possible. Don't give it any kind of
validation.
Yeah.
Don't give it any. I'll tell you this. Even if the person doesn't get booted, more often than not, they don't even stay to see the effect of their comment. They're just running through and saying ridiculous stuff and moving on. Because when I first started on Whatnot, I used to do a lot of late night and overnight shows. And y'all know things get very, I don't know how much late night Whatnot, but things get very weird on late night Whatnot. And so a whole lot of stuff
used to come after dark.
Whole lot of stuff used to come through in my chats in the late night hours, and it was just like, okay, well, I hope your mother makes your breakfast the way you like it in the morning, because I know you live in the basement.
I'm gonna write that one down.
Yeah, I like that one too.
That one. I'm gonna let you go ahead and do that.
If someone is hesitant about trying live reselling, what advice would you give them before they jump in?
Get familiar with it. Spend some time watching other people. Don't just jump into it. I think that's another theme of conversation that myself and a lot of people that I know are having on Whatnot in particular lately, where it's just like everybody's being given the green light to go live, but nobody is taking the time to figure out just the basics: how to load an auction, how to run it, how to do this, how to do that, especially how to do shipping. But they're just like, oh, I want to make money, and it's like there's a lot to the making money part. It's not just getting people to swipe. You have to deliver product timely and in the condition and all that you promised. So I would just say, if you're hesitant about it, it's not a sign that you shouldn't do it, but it's a sign that you definitely should spend some time researching the platform, researching how you show up, making sure that you have things in place, and also don't be afraid to ask for help. I think that when I first started on Whatnot, we didn't have this plethora of people doing community chat shows and all that, right?
No, not at all.
That category actually didn't even exist, right?
Right.
So we really had to find things out on our own. I'm the kind of person who I read through the terms of services, and I went through the Seller Academy full on before I did my first show. So I felt like I was very well prepared and knowledgeable about running a show on the app. But that's not what's happening now. And you know, people do come in and they're like, oh, they're just kind of like, oh, can you just tell me everything? And it's like, I mean, I don't want to be the person I don't want you to think I'm the person who's just going to hold your hand through every step. I'm here, like, I'm more than happy to help you clear stuff up and get a better understanding, but you got to come to the table with something. So do the work, spend some time learning the app and seeing what's what, but you know, don't be afraid to ask for help, but don't ask for help without having done any of the work yourself.
Right.
No. I know when we started, we had to show our inventory before we got a like allowed to sell, and we went to the live onboarding, and I think that helped a lot back then, that you had to jump through those hoops to show that, hey, you're actually serious about this.
Yeah, definitely. And remember, all of that advice that Q just gave you, that came from somebody who had 1,000 followers before she had her first show. Okay. So that ought to tell you right there is prepare yourself for that show, because no matter what happens, when you hit that button and it says you're live, and then all of a sudden you start seeing that room count start to go up, it's a different animal altogether. I mean, different animal. But yeah, get yourself prepared. Just because you're hesitant, hey, try it. Just give it a shot.
Right.
That's some great information. I want to thank Q for those questions and answers. She did a wonderful job, guys. And like I said, check her. Q, when is your Q&As on Whatnot?
So they are on Thursday evenings. It fluctuates between every other and every Thursday, depending on what's going on, you know, in the community and my life, and also what I have to talk about. Because I don't like to just get on and stare at people. Like if there's a topic if there's a topic that I prepared for, I'll come with that. Or if like there's been a lot of questions about something in particular, when we get new features on the app, things of that nature, I'll bring them to a chat. I also have the privilege of being a part of the Whatnot community host group. So at least once a month, I get on and talk about whatever the topic of the month is from Whatnot for us to talk about. But yeah, usually Thursday nights. Maybe every other Thursday at least, but so at least twice a month. But I will increase it if there's need for actual conversation and not just for y'all to stare at me. Y'all can come stare at me when I'm selling stuff.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I can try to get into those. I know for us, our Thursdays are very, very busy, but we're going to try to make an effort to pop into those shows. And not only that, to try to get new sellers to come into those shows also, because there's some great information. There's some great wisdom that you're getting right here. And we really appreciate that. And that's actually, if you really want the truth, that's the reason for our podcast. Our podcast is to focus on live selling and to bring people, not to say to people, hey, don't be a live seller. That's not it at all. But it's to bring all of these wide variety of ideas, and you can check them on out. So if you really want to learn about live selling, watch my other 30 episodes of Jack's Treasures.
Every single one of them has at least one nugget of knowledge in there somewhere.
That is correct, that we have learned and taken from it. We were on a panel at the Northeast Tennessee meetup, and somebody asked me about our YouTube channel. And I said, mine's a selfish reason. I want to learn about Whatnot, and I want to learn about live selling from all of these other folks that have been doing it. Whether they've been doing it for they've had only one show, or in the case of our guest last week, they don't have any shows.
Nope.
But I won't, or they haven't had any shows in a while. But I wanted to get that knowledge from them. So it's a great way to do that. So thank you for all of those. This is our What's Up section right here. This is where we're going to talk about things that are generally happening in the Whatnot community or in reselling in general. Now, I know that Q, you might not, that you were talking about the negativity part, but this is one of the ones where it's a little bit on the controversial side. Whatnot has been getting some harsh criticism for what happened with a seller known as Cool Kicks, who were raided by the FBI when
he
were
was live.
They were live.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of speculation about what's going on. I will let you guys know right now. There are scammers on every single platform you are ever going to be on. Okay. Whether you walk into a damn building, you're going to run into scammers. Whether you're walking down the street, obviously buying stuff from people on the street, you're going to run into some scammers. That is just a fact of life. But many people are saying that Whatnot should be doing a better job of vetting their sellers. And Q had mentioned it earlier that it's literally now almost a free for all. So my question for you is, do you think that Whatnot can do a better job with keeping alleged scammers off of the platform?
I absolutely do think they can do a better job. And it starts with going back to not leaving the gate open for anybody to be able to just go live, right? And in the community group, like we say this to them every time we meet with them, and every almost every day in between. We're like, hey, what's the chances of us going back to, getting approved to sell and getting onboarding? So some of it is in line with, they're like, okay, this is a highly rated app in the app store. And, there's such an influx of people versus the staff that they have to do the work. And, I get that. But at the same time, it's just like, if you want the integrity of your app to continue to be good, you may have to make some sacrifices on making some people wait a little while before they're given access to your product. Because at some point, if you don't, there's not going to be a product for anybody to have access to.
Right.
Correct.
So Whatnot, any platform, like, especially when it's a larger seller that you're also backing and showing support for, you got to put in some work in making sure that what they're doing, what they're bringing is actually in line with what you want people to know your platform for. Because at the end of the day, that particular situation right there, yes, people are going to be like, oh, this person is this person is that, but they're also going to talk about Whatnot. Because not only did it happen to a seller on Whatnot, it literally happened to them while they were streaming.
I know, that's the worst.
So
right.
No
and
way
they were big.
There's no way.
They were very, very big. Yeah. You can't. There's no way to separate Whatnot from what happened on that thing. Even I think when we were watching the news, we actually saw it on the news.
Yeah.
And the news said they were live streaming on Whatnot. Well, now Whatnot just took a big hit.
Right.
No matter what, And again, we do sell a lot mostly on Whatnot. We're very big on that. But I'm not here to sit there and tell you that everything is just awesome. Whatnot, do a better job. I mean, come on. This is not that difficult. Now, I do understand that they have so many shows going on now that they can't get to every single show and vet every single show. But you can vet these sellers. I mean, when you're getting complaints,
especially when you're talking about these people that have, these elevated platforms, and I'll say elevated in the sense of you're giving them wings, you're giving them recognition. You one of the caveats to getting the wings, I definitely think should be some type of actual one-on-one sit down with whoever the main person or persons are running that app and really delving into who they are and what their business is about before you just slap those wings up there just because they've sold or made this amount of money for your platform. Because there's a lot of stuff going on there. People are getting people to give them money, but they're not selling products. Or in this case, they're potentially selling, ill-gotten or counterfeit products.
We are going to say alleged right now, but I mean, hey, it's up for everybody else to judge for themselves. We're not judging Cool Kicks or anything like that, but obviously they were raided. It is alleged that they were selling stolen goods, but that's, again,
Let's move on to something more positive. We're going to do our Shine the Light segment. This is where we spotlight live sellers at 3 different levels based on sales and followers. All of our sellers today.
I cannot believe you have to read that.
Are on Whatnot.
we have our show notes right here. So.
you give me something to read, I'm gonna read it. Our new seller this week is Burpur, Burpur. She's a seller on Whatnot with 385 sales and 971 followers. She's a small town girl with a brick and mortar store. She's very positive and has lots of different items. She does do a lot of plush and toy shows. What is the best way for a new seller, kind of at the level of Berber there, to become a part of the Whatnot community?
You gotta, so this is something that I didn't, oddly enough, right? I had all these followers before I went live. But outside of my own shows, once I started selling for a while there, like I would go to certain people's shows, but I didn't mingle in the community as much. So, but that obviously has changed, right? But you want to become a part of the community, you actually have to show up in the community. It's not about buying from everybody to get them to, to acknowledge you that way. It's simply about being in the room, saying hello, maybe commenting on the product that they're selling, engaging with them. If they're just trying to have regular conversation, I often ask people what they had for the last meal or what they're planning on having, like just to get some conversation involved. But also, I'm just going to just talk, right? I'm going to say really ridiculous things and see who's paying attention. But, just check out other people. And I will say this, as far as building a community, get outside of your category, right?
100%.
If as a seller, this is the only category you want to sell in, that's totally fine. But go to shows outside of your category. You can learn so much from people who are selling in different categories, outside of just sticking to your own category and thinking that that's the whole Whatnot world, because it's really not.
It's funny because somehow, we sell mostly video games and pop culture stuff. We'll sell in storage unit category, but somehow we built a community of people who sell women's clothes and snacks. It's like, how did this happen?
I don't know how we got into that at all. Well, I know how we got into women's clothing.
Brian, how did you get into women's clothing?
Thank you, Hanger.
Thank you, Hanger 909. Actually, it would be Jen's Multiverse.
Oh, was she the first one that got you in ladies' clothing?
Well, no, you got me into ladies' clothing. Actually, the Navy was the one that got me into that. But that's not a conversation we're going to be having right here. All right, our growing seller for this week is somebody long overdue. I cannot believe that we have missed this one for so long. But it is Marcy of Marcy Sells Things. She's a seller on Whatnot with 2,000 sales and 4.2 thousand followers. She sells in everything, and she is she was a raid train conductor of one of her favorite ones, which was called the Bloop Train.
Yep.
She was so sad when they took away gifting things. She's also known as my bestie, and she is going to be a seller on the Veterans Day Raid Train. What are your feelings on giveaways on Whatnot?
My feelings on giveaways is, I say it every time I talk about it. If you are a seller and you're going to be mad about who wins your giveaways, don't do them. They're not required 100%. In any shape, form, or fashion. If somebody comes in your room asking for a giveaway, you can show them where the door is. Like, so there's that. But if you're if you're going to do giveaways, be okay with, with it going to whoever, because it's very random, right? Giveaways are not a contract that, now you need to buy something from me. That's not what it is. A giveaway is literally you saying, here's a free gift, enjoy it. So as far as the giveaways are concerned, I enjoy doing them. I don't break the bank on giveaways in any way. If you've been in my shows, I do something called Premium Pocket Lint. It's a car air freshener. It's one little hanging air fresheners. That's what the majority of my giveaways are. People love that, mainly because I call it Premium Pocket Lint. Other people give away car air fresheners, but people absolutely love that I call it Premium Pocket Lint. Right. I do other things as giveaways, but on the regular, that's pretty much my thing. And nobody is ever like, oh, I can't believe you're just giving away a car air freshener. Because and from the other side of that, if you don't like what I'm giving away, you don't have to enter. Like
that's right.
Just because you're in the room doesn't mean you have to enter the giveaway. I don't beg people to enter giveaways. Every now and then I might make a snide comment about, it's 70 of y'all in here, only 30 people are in the giveaway. But I'm not like, y'all please enter my giveaway. I really want y'all to win this Premium Pocket Lint. It's okay. You don't have to enter it. But yeah, if you're going to do giveaways, don't get mad about who wins them. Don't complain about people not buying from you after they won the giveaway. Know that you're paying for the item, you're paying for shipping. And if you don't want to do those things, don't do them. It's a great way to get followers, but followers don't equal sales. Bookmarks don't equal people in your room. So do the giveaway because you want to give the thing away, not because you want something in return.
Love that. That's probably one of the best answers we've gotten.
Our established seller this week is Renee and Casey, known as Bargain Hunters Breaks. They're sellers on Whatnot. You may know them from the TV show Storage Wars.
Yep.
But they do sell on Whatnot now, and they currently have 66.3 thousand sales and 50.5 thousand followers. They do card breaks on sports cards, obviously.
And I can tell you right now, I don't understand a thing about
I don't
these
either.
things.
I've watched the
but-
shows and I just be like,
Yeah.
okay.
But these guys are like
66,000
Yeah.
sales.
That's crazy.
But these guys are super supportive of the community. They'll answer questions if you go in. If you have questions about what they're doing, they're super nice about it.
Yes.
Do you think that celebrity or even social media celebrity translates over to Whatnot selling?
For some people it does. And I think that, like, because Whatnot, it's not always just people finding Whatnot and signing up. Whatnot does go out and ask, look at certain people with followings and ask them to come sell on the platform. So it definitely can translate to sales, but I think more often than not, it only translates to sales for that person. It does not spread to the community, especially if that person is not somebody who's promoting community and engaging outside of their own shows.
Right.
That's an awesome question right there. Have you ever seen that show, Storage Wars?
Yeah, I used to watch it all the time. I haven't watched it lately, but I used to watch it all the time.
Oh, yeah. That's what actually got Tracy and I into buying storage units.
Me too. Me too.
So do you buy storage units?
I haven't in a while because I really got out of control with it.
It's easy to do.
Yeah, so I haven't in a while, but once I'm in the process of kind of trying to revamp the way that I do things, which starting with me liquidating what I have. But once I get to the other side of that, it is something that I want to look into again. And because of course, I've learned some different things, and I would approach and maybe select my units a little differently. So I will start looking again, but I've literally just unsubscribed from all of the all of the storage things because I was just always so tempted to be like,
yes,
let me just bid on it. Let me just see. No,
we'll see what happens.
You're right.
Yeah, believe me, we got a 1,600 square foot storage facility. Tracy filled it in 3 weeks completely. And we were like, oh, yeah, this is going to be perfect. We'll be able to get a unit, bring it in, process it right here in this huge facility that we got. That lasted all of about 3 days. After that, it was full.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have links down below to all of these sellers. So please give them a follow, give them a chance. Check them out. Some of them are really, really good. I do go into Bargain Hunt Breaks shows all the time. He actually knows who we are, but he's never been in our shows. But I mean, I'm
who would want to?
Right? Exactly.
I'm going in there next time. Make sure you're in Jack's Treasure shows. Okay, if you don't, I'm coming for you.
That would be amazing. We're actually tried to get Renee and Casey on our show as guests, and they did not say no.
Yeah,
they haven't
true.
said yes.
He said he'll have to think about it.
He said I'll have to think about that, and I said that's no problem. That does not say no. But I'm one of those people that believes that if you ask somebody a question and they say no, nothing changed than if you did not ask them a question.
Exactly.
But if you ask them a question and they say yes, then something changed.
Right.
But not asking a question will change absolutely nothing. So we're going to have a link down there below for this. Next is our time for Turn the Tables. This is the part that Tracy has been fearing since I said, oh, yeah, we got Q on this week. And this is where we allow our amazing guests to ask us any question that they would like about Jack's Treasures or Tracy and I, or anything that they would like to ask. So the floor is
gonna ask 2 questions. One for each of you. One is very ridiculous. The other one seems like I'm a very sweet and caring person. Okay.
Ridiculous question. Ridiculous.
All right. So this question is for not Jack, aka Brian. Do you prefer loose fit jeans or skinny jeans on yourself?
On myself. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, one, I don't really wear a lot of jeans because I was born and raised in South Florida, Miami. So it really
he wears
never got that
old
cold.
man cargo shorts year round.
I do wear old man cargo shorts. I would say I would prefer loose fitting jeans as opposed to tight fitting jeans. I don't want like crowds of people to come around me if I was wearing, skinny jeans or something.
You think you're gonna bring in the crowd if you wear
it
skinny
could
jeans?
happen. It
You don't
could
want
happen.
to your curves.
It could happen. I think I have very handsome legs, I might say to myself.
I can get with that. All right, and then my question for Tracy: where did you and Brian go on your third date?
Oh, our third date.
One. Lookout Mountain and Waffle House.
Okay.
I remember. You
Yes,
remember.
I
She
did.
remembered, yes. And where was the Waffle House?
In Tennessee, in Chattanooga.
No,
that was the first date where we went in Alabama.
Oh, we didn't go to Alabama. That was
we went to multiple dates at Waffle Houses.
Yeah.
No, we drove up. It was one evening. He had got off work. We had no plans, and we just drove up to Lookout Mountain just to say we went up there and we ate some Waffle House and we came home.
That's dope.
Real romantic, huh?
Those were easy questions, right?
Especially since Tracy is very much afraid of heights, like on a road.
Yeah.
And if she looks over the side and there's not much off to the side except for a cliff, and you go down and you're not going to come out of, she gets very, very nervous. So
I mean, that's a reasonable thing to do.
I would imagine so too. Those were great questions. Thank you, Q. Thanks to our amazing guest of Q, aka Secondhand Sarcasm. Our next guest will be somebody that we actually scheduled a couple of weeks ago, but they got sick and now they're all better. And we will be having Tim, aka that narrator dude, and he is going to be talking about. Well, first off, he's one of the best video game sellers on Whatnot, in my opinion. And this is coming from a video game seller. He is super supportive of us. He was the first person to raid me, and I didn't acknowledge it one iota.
And he still comes around.
And he still actually likes us somewhat. At least I hope so. Fingers crossed that he comes to the show. But he's going to be talking about how to do some surprise shows using video games, how he sets those up, and how he does that. So that's going to be an amazing one. But before we get to our last question that Tracy is going to ask, we have to say a very, very, very special happy anniversary to our last guest, which is Joe and Nicole. I flipped that, who were literally, when we released the video, was their wedding anniversary.
And they didn't tell us, so we couldn't
So we wanted to say happy anniversary to them and a very special happy birthday to Q.
It's today. If you're watching this on Sunday, stop in her show, say hello, give her some love.
Oh, you know what we don't have? We didn't have it ready.
Oh, the birthday song.
The birthday song. We don't have the birthday
We'll have to
song.
do a birthday song on Sunday. You'll have to come to one of our shows. You got to come to
one of our shows on Sunday, and if you do, we're going to do.
You have to come to my show on Sunday. I can co-host you, and then you can do it.
We might can make that happen.
We might make that happen. It might be later in the day because of a life thing that did happen this weekend, where Tracy and I might be separated, where she's got to drive back to Georgia. We're going to Tennessee to do a yard sale with Dottie and Tracy, which is Lover Dogs and Vintage Thrifter, and Tracy might have to drive back on the weekend.
Seeing how that's going to go.
We're going to see how that works out because of life happening, and there was a death in the family, and so. But we will definitely pop into your show and 100%. Would love to do that.
Yeah, it'll be an evening show. So
okay, we should be around in the evening.
I'm doing 41 giveaways in that show for my birthday. So yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, we're definitely gonna be in on that one.
Our final question is the same to every single guest, and it is: what does the future hold for you? Secondhand Sarcasm.
Woo! My hope is that the future just holds a lot of growth and sustainability. Specifically, I just want to continue to grow in this business, to learn and become better, and continue to build an amazing community. Like, I never really, because when we first started with this reselling thing with like eBay listings, no one ever really, I don't think any of us were like, oh yeah, in 10, 20 years, we're going to meet some of our best friends through reselling.
Right.
So as far as the future goes, I just want to keep getting better. I never want to stagnate or think that I've made it. or anything like that. And, I just want to continue to show up authentically in every space that I'm in.
That's
That
awesome.
is awesome.
I think she's going to succeed on all of that.
100%.
And I will let you know, we did meet Q.
We did
at the
in
Nashville meetup for a little bit because if I'm not mistaken, you're in the Nashville area.
I am.
And Tracy and I come up to the Nashville area a lot. So I'm hoping that someday
we
can
meet for
sit
some
down and
lunch
have
or
a
something.
dinner
Yeah.
or lunch
Just
with.
let me know when you're coming, and I'll just call out of every one of my jobs and meet y'all for
Well, thank you so much for being a part of our podcast. And to everybody who's watching, thank you for watching. Check out the links below to Stop Soldier Suicide and the Naughty Cat Cafe. And as always, like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
And please make sure that you leave a comment down below. We really do appreciate that. We are getting so close to 1,000 subscribers right now on YouTube, and that is amazing.
I'm gonna add because I'm probably not following y'all yet. Because
yes, thank you.
I'm really bad with YouTube, like subscribing. Like I'll go watch videos and forget to hit the subscribe.
We were on someone's podcast last night, and I realized we weren't subscribed to them either.
Well, so Locker Room Guys, that was Tracy. I was subscribing the entire time. Okay, I was subscribing. We were on their podcast. They recorded it, and so now they're going to watch this one and find out that you're not a subscriber.
But we are now.
But we are now. So Q, thank you very, very much, guys. Thank you everybody for watching. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification button so that you know when our next videos are launched. Q, you have the final word.
I just want to say thank you to both of you for inviting me. This is, I think, quite literally the first time that I've been interviewed for anything since high school. So other than a job, right? But thank you. I enjoy you all so much. I don't remember which raid train it was I met you all on, but I fell in love with you all immediately, and I'm so glad that we continue to interact, grow, and Tracy's a friend of mine. Brian is still pending approval, but I'm so grateful and excited about the future with you all as well.
Thank you very much. Bye, everybody.